So guys, this is now the beginning of a new chapter of Jinx. Let's see what's going to happen this time. It's still nighttime. Kim Dan is fast asleep, and Ju Jaekyung is just sitting there, quietly watching him.
Wow.
I never thought I'd find myself just watching someone sleep, he thinks, half annoyed, half confused by his own behavior. Maybe he's just waiting for Kim Dan to wake up, or maybe he just can't look away. His eyes trace over Kim Dan's face, those cracked lips, his frail hands, the exhaustion carved into him. He looks so pitiful, Jaekyung thinks. Kim Dan, once so strong-willed, now looks completely worn down, a mess. Jaekyung sighs and finally decides to get up, though he notices the room is clean. He still managed to do his job, he mutters. He's overextending himself again. He opens the wardrobe and frowns. It's almost empty. Why is it so bare? Don't tell me, he can't even afford clothes. A faint memory flashes. When I was young, I'd wear whatever I found on the street. He scoffs softly. Does he really not spend a single cent on himself? He glances back at the sleeping man. Kim Dan is on thin ice in more ways than one. Still asleep, Kim Dan shifts slightly, looking fragile even in rest. Jaekyung clenches his jaw. I have to do something. I can't just let him disappear again. When he says disappear, it's not just about Kim Dan running away. There's a deeper fear there. Something darker. Maybe even the thought of losing him completely. The next morning, sunlight filters into the room. Jaekyung leans on the doorway, arms crossed. Hey, Kim Dan. What are you up to today? Kim Dan turns to him sleepily. Today? I was planning to go to the gym with you later. Jaekyung tilts his head. I'm not going to the gym today. I'm taking the day off. Kim Dan blinks, surprised. Really? You taking a day off? That's serious. Jaekyung shrugs.
Yeah.
I'm staying in. You should too. If you've got nothing to do, you can always hang around with me. That catches Kim Dan off guard. Play with you? He asks awkwardly. Jaekyung raises a brow. Hey, you really think that's the only thing on my mind? Every time Jaekyung tries to do something normal, Kim Dan instantly assumes it's something else, something physical. Jaekyung sighs. Is there anything you want to do? Kim Dan shakes his head. Not really. You sure? Jaekyung smirks. I know at least one thing you like. He pulls out a small stack of board games and card decks. Tada. Kim Dan blinks. I wouldn't say I like these exactly. I only got them because I didn't know what you'd be into. Jaekyung chuckles. Really? Whatever. Let's just play anyway. So, they sit down and start playing. Kim Dan isn't exactly good at it, and Jaekyung, of course, is annoyingly competitive. Ha. You landed on my sole property. Jaekyung grins wickedly. Jaekyung is getting all worked up over the game. The rent here is insane. Won't that leave you bankrupt? He exclaims, looking absolutely entertained. Look at him, he's so into it, it's actually cute. But Kim Dan just sighs softly. Yeah, I guess I lost. He doesn't seem to care much about the game. Even here, he's broke, in the game and in real life. Jaekyung glances at him, puzzled. What the hell is he not having fun? He thinks to himself. He really seemed to enjoy it last time. Finally, he says it out loud. Kim Dan, let's play another game. Maybe this time he'll loosen up. Kim Dan looks at him, concerned. Mr. Joe, are you okay? Huh? Why do you ask? Jaekyung replies, half smiling. Kim Dan's voice is soft. I just wonder if I'm keeping you from getting rest. You've been going out of your way for me lately. It feels like you're doing this because I'm not in the best condition right now. That actually makes Jaekyung stop for a second. But then he smirks. You've got it all wrong. Remember what you told me before? No matter how busy I am, I should take at least one rest day during the week. He leans back, folding his arms. That's what I'm doing today. But forget about me for a second. Have you ever taken a day off? Kim Dan's face falls immediately. He looks down, quiet. Jaekyung's tone softens. You were working nonstop out in the countryside, without any sleep. And ever since you got back, you've been pushing yourself again. Before Kim Dan can respond, there's a knock at the door. Knock, knock. Delivery of voice calls. Oh, it's here. Jaekyung mutters, walking over. Kim Dan, follow me. He opens the package, and there it is. Piles of brand new clothes. Kim Dan stares, wide-eyed. What is all this? You are a medium, right? Jaekyung asks casually. Kim Dan blinks. Huh? Yes. I noticed all your clothes were completely worn out. So these are for you. Kim Dan freezes. For me? But this must have been expensive. Jae-kyung waves it off. Didn't spend a dime. Some brand gave them to me for free, but they sent the wrong size. I was gonna toss them out anyway. He's lying, of course. We all know that. Every single piece, he bought it himself. Still, he adds, they're all yours. Kim Dan stares at the mountain of clothes. There's so many. What did you do with my old ones? I threw them out. Jae-kyung answers bluntly. They were so old. What? Kim Dan's eyes widen. You threw everything? That gray hoodie I always wear. My grandma bought me that as a graduation gift. Jae-kyung pauses. Wait, what? That old hoodie. He rushes to check and finally pulls it from the pile. Relax. I didn't toss that one. It's still here. Kim Dan breathes out in relief, though his heart is still pounding. You scared me. Thank goodness, he murmurs, smiling faintly. Well, this hoodie is so tired. Jae-kyung watches him closely. I almost messed up again, he thinks, his heart pounding. Seeing Kim Dan so happy over something so simple, it hits him harder than he expected. Kim Dan gently folds the hoodie, a soft smile on his lips. Mr. Ju, I appreciate the thought, but you don't have to go through all this trouble. Taking care of me on your day off, buying me clothes, it's all a bit much. He lowers his gaze. We're gonna go our separate ways after just 2 more matches anyway. You don't need to pay me any special attention. Just treat me like you always have. I'll do my best to stay in the background. Jae-kyung doesn't respond. His jaw tightens. Damn, was I off the mark again? He wonders, feeling that sting of rejection. I thought maybe I could win him over with things he doesn't have. But no matter what he does, Kim Dan keeps his walls up. Finally, Jae-kyung exhales. All right, he mutters. But keep the clothes. They won't fit me anyway. Kim Dan gives a small nod. Okay then. I graciously accept. Thank you. Yeah. Jae-kyung replies quickly, hiding the awkwardness in his tone. Inside though, he's thinking, he's acting like I'm forcing him to take them. Then out of nowhere, Jae-kyung snaps his fingers. Come here a second. Next thing we know, they're at the swimming pool. I bought you a swim. I mean, there was a swimsuit in one of those PR packages, Jae-kyung explains, clearing his throat. Go get changed. Kim Dan blinks. You know I can't swim. Jae-kyung crosses his arms. Then I'll teach you. Teach me? Kim Dan thinks, a little stunned. Jae-kyung smirks. What? You don't trust me. If you ever end up in the water, you should at least know how to get back to shore. It's a vital life skill. Kim Dan stares at him for a moment, still processing this sudden act of kindness. Then, he finally agrees. Moments later, he walks out wearing the swimsuit, looking a little shy. Mr. Ju, do I put it on like this? It's not going to fall off, right? Jae-kyung turns and freezes. His brain short-circuits for a second. Wow. Yeah, that's fine, he manages to say. Now get in. Okay. They step into the water. Kim Dan tenses immediately. I feel like I'm gonna sink. Jae-kyung chuckles softly. Relax. I'm holding you. You've got that float strapped on. You'll bob right back up. Kim Dan tries to calm himself. Oh, okay. Good. Now try kicking your legs. Toes pointed. Jae-kyung instructs. Like this? Yeah, but not too hard. I'm doing it. I'm actually moving forward. Kim Dan laughs, his excitement genuine for once. Jae-kyung smiles without realizing it. All right, I'm gonna let go now. Kim Dan's eyes widen. Wait, no. The next second, he panics, reaching out, and suddenly throws his arms around Jae-kyung, holding on tight. Water splashes. Their bodies collide. The distance between them disappears completely. Jae-kyung's heart thunders in his chest. Damn. They're pressed against each other, eyes wide, breathing uneven. Kim Dan looks up, flustered. Sorry. Jae-kyung swallows hard, heat rushing to his face. This is bad. And that's where the chapter ends. So guys, that's the end of this episode. Things are definitely heating up literally and emotionally. What do you think is going to happen next time?